It's time for that dreaded P0300 code. I'm going to tell you what I did to fix it, and stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you what I wish I would have done in hindsight after fixing it. If you can't tell, I was out plowing. I just got done replacing the manifold with the old one. That was actually the second thing I did. The first thing I did was the crank positioning sensor. That's underneath the truck. I'm not going to show that to you because it's wet and I don't want to get underneath there. But the next thing was the manifold. And what happened was I decided to clean it out by throwing a bunch of garbage in it. And it worked out well. The P300 code changed to a P0172 code, which went from complete misfires on all cylinders to misfire on bank 1, which is, well, over here. Cylinder 1 marks bank 1, cylinder 2 marks bank 2. That goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the cylinders. So we then had a focus point, which was bank 1. I replaced all the plugs at that point. I replaced all of the coils at that point. And yeah, they needed it. Some of the coils were really bad. I guess the plugs I put in platinums when I redid the plugs last time. And this thing does not like platinums, apparently, this engine. So I put in original copper champion plugs that were OMEs. I replaced the EGR. I replaced the map sensor. I have a cam positioning sensor I never did replace. I'm trying to think of everything else that we did to this. I mean, I cleaned up a bunch of stuff, tried to get into the throttle body and clean that up. When I replaced the EGR, this pipe over here that goes into the throttle body was all gummed up. I cleaned that out. I checked the PCV valve. I replaced that recently, so I did not think that was going to be an issue. Just started kind of throwing parts and money at it. Replaced both O2 sensors on the truck. So one of them is an OME, that's the NGK, and the other one, they didn't have that one. They only had one of those at Napa, so the other one is another brand that's supposed to work well. The Bosches are supposed to be really bad for this. And these, let's see if I can zoom in here. Get it so you can actually see the brand name here. These Iron Tree throttle bodies that you get on Amazon, awful. I was having problems with that. But after going through all of this stuff, what the problem happened to be was not on bank 1, was on bank 2, all the way down here on cylinder number 4. Over here on cylinder 4, I had a broken valve spring. So that turned out to be a huge project because what we did is we decided to visually check the valve springs, and we took off that cover and this cover, and that's where we found the broken valve spring. It was the exhaust on cylinder number 4. I ordered one spring. I do have to go back in and replace them all, but I was only able to find one really quickly on Amazon, and it was like a performance part. It hasn't been running really good since, so I'm gonna have to replace that spring again, and I'm gonna do the whole head, and then probably the head on the other side as well. Yeah, but after going through and checking for fuel pressure and vacuum leaks, and actually did some work on the vacuum hose as well, but after doing all of that, this is what I wish I would have done. When I got the code, I wish I would have just pulled the plugs, looked at replacing the plugs and coils, and done a compression check on everything, just to be sure that everything was okay, because that was what was really ultimately the issue, was bad compression on cylinder number 4 because of a broken valve spring. And that would have probably cut out a lot of the issues and time that I spent on this thing. So that would be what I would do in hindsight, is I would have actually started probably with a compression check just to see, make sure all the cylinders and engine was in order from getting that P300 code. Anyways, I just wanted to go through everything that I had to go through, throwing parts at the truck, and now I got some parts to return. But it is what it is. You know, the freaky thing about this whole thing is I was trying to rush it to try to get it done before this big, huge snowstorm. I managed to succeed. I missed one. I had to do the whole thing with a snowblower because the truck was down. And I literally got under the wire on this thing. I buttoned it up and started trying to break in the spring while the snow was falling at the beginning of the storm. 12 inches of snow later, it's still going. I'm still having some issues. I'm hoping that throttle body issue will be fixed by putting the old one on. But anyways, I guess I'll see you next time.